In this video, I'll share how internationally trained surgeons or international medical graduates can become specialists in surgery in Canada. I'll break down the roadmap, licensing and immigration steps, as well as mistakes to avoid so you know exactly how to move forward. Who actually counts as a surgeon in Canada? A surgeon is someone who has completed an MD from a recognized medical school and a full residency in their surgical specialty, which usually takes 5 to 6 years. For example, cardiac surgery requires a 6-year residency with rotations in general and vascular surgery. To work as a surgeon, you must complete specialty training, pass the Royal College of Physicians and Surgeons of Canada exams, and obtain a provincial license. In some cases, additional subspecialty training of up to 2 years may also be required. Here's a list. Pause and review all the surgical subspecialties practiced in Canada. Before we go into the details, understand this. To become a licensed surgeon in Canada, you'll need to clear national exams, get provincial licensing, and meet federal immigration requirements and other matters. You can also get fully licensed without legal status to work. Some early steps like credential verification or exam prep can be done on a visitor visa, but practice-ready assessments and provisional practice count as employment, so you'll need a work permit. Since most PRA positions are tied to provincial health authorities, you'll usually get an employer-specific work permit, often without an LMIA. The best strategy is to run licensing and immigration side by side, because even if you're licensed, without the right visa you can't work. Every specialist in Canada has to go through two national bodies. First, the Medical Council of Canada, which verifies your credentials and runs the first exams. Second, the Royal College of Physicians and Surgeons of Canada, which grants you specialty certification. Without it, no province will give you a full license. The MCC process starts with medical credential verification through physiciansapply.ca. This is source verification of your degrees, transcripts, and certifications, and it can take months. After that comes the MCCQE Part 1, a qualifying exam you can take abroad in over 70 countries. It tests general medical knowledge and is required for most licensing and even some immigration pathways like express entry. Next is the National Assessment Collaboration NAC exam, a hands-on clinical skills exam held only in Canada. It runs a few times a year, so you'll need a temporary visa just to sit for it. Finally, the real milestone is Royal College certification. This is what separates international medical graduates who can work as general physicians from those who can practice as fully licensed surgeons. There are 3 main RCPSC pathways depending on where and how you completed your residency training. If you trained in one of the recognized countries like the UK and Ireland, Australia, Hong Kong, New Zealand, South Africa, Switzerland, or Singapore, you may qualify to go straight to the RCPSC exam. No supervised required. You qualify if your specialist training was completed in a Royal College approved program and is similar in length and content to the Canadian specialty requirements. US graduates do not qualify for this route. Those candidates must apply through the Accreditation Council for Graduate Medical Education route or the Practice Eligibility route instead. Which brings us to the second route. The practice eligibility route is the most common path for international surgeons. You'll need to pass the RCPSC exams and complete 2 years of supervised practice in Canada under a senior surgeon. During this, you'll hold a provisional license, usually sponsored by a hospital or a university. And the third route, the practice ready assessment, is province specific and tied to workforce needs. You'll need a job offer first. Then you'll go through a 3 to 12 month assessment to prove you're safe for independent practice. However, it's not open to everyone. It depends on where Canada urgently needs surgeons. But no matter which route you're on, everyone ends up at the same final hurdle, the RCPSC exam. The Royal College exam has 2 parts, a written exam to test your knowledge and an oral or OSCE style exam to test your judgment and decision making. For surgeons, that means case scenarios, ethics, and evidence-based practice. Most candidates need at least 2 years of prep because this is the make or break step that turns your provisional license into a full license. To complete your supervised practice under PER or PRA, you'll need a work permit, not a visa. The good news is that physicians often qualify for LMIA exempt permits under Canada's significant benefit policy, which makes the process faster for most jobs. And that Canadian work experience helps not only with your license but also with your permanent residency application. At the federal level, the Express Entry Federal Skilled Worker Program is the main pathway for skilled workers, including surgeons. If you're already living and working in Canada, the Canadian Experience class is another strong option. That covers the national level. At the provincial level, not all provinces treat specialists the same, so knowing where to focus is crucial. Many provinces actively recruit doctors through dedicated streams, while others tie immigration directly to job offers or return of service agreements. After national certification, your next steps depend on the province as they decide how your credentials are accepted, what pathways exist, and how quickly you can practice. In Ontario, the College of Physicians and Surgeons of Ontario offers a straightforward path only for US trained doctors certified by the American Board. Most international specialists start with a provisional license under supervision, often through clinical fellowships at teaching hospitals like the University of Toronto or McMaster. Registration with the CPSO is required, but Canadian citizenship or PR is not. You only need a valid work permit. Specialists may qualify through two RCPSC pathways, the Subspecialty Examination Affiliate Program or the Practice Eligibility Route. Both grant a restricted license under supervision, leading to independent practice once RCPSC exams and requirements are completed. On the immigration side, the Ontario Immigrant Nominee Program offers options such as the Employer Job Offer Foreign Worker Stream and Express Entry Human Capital Priority Stream, making hospital placements and job offers essential for PR. In British Columbia, the regulator is the College of Physicians and Surgeons of BC. International specialists usually enter through a provisional specialty license or the Practice Ready Assessment BC route with pre-screening done by Health Match BC. PRA BC requires a 3-year return of service agreement with financial penalties if broken. Surgical specialists need at least 5 to 6 years of residency. Some may even require subspecialty training and must pass the MCC exams and Royal College certification before full licensure. To work, you must be registered with the CPSBC and hold Canadian citizenship PR or a valid work permit. For immigration, BC offers a health authority stream that allows surgeons with permanent health authority jobs to fast track PR, and NOC 31101 is among the targeted occupations in the BC PNP draws. In Alberta, the College of Physicians and Surgeons of Alberta runs a practice readiness assessment for specialists, but many begin with a clinical assistant license. While this isn't full licensure, it provides supervised Canadian work experience that helps with RCPSC certification and boosts express entry points. Clinical assistant roles are usually in major hospitals like the University of Alberta or facilities in Calgary. From an immigration perspective, Alberta values this experience, especially for provincial nominations. The province prioritizes rural placements through its dedicated healthcare pathway, which can speed up PR. Specialists in surgery are in demand and often qualify under the Alberta Express Entry stream, provided they meet provincial criteria. In Manitoba, the College of Physicians and Surgeons of Manitoba runs the Practice Ready Assessment Specialty Program, a 12-month pathway for internationally trained specialists who can work independently. Participants sign a 2-year return of service agreement, often in underserved regions, with relocation support available. Immigration is closely tied to this route. Completing a PRA position often leads to a provincial nomination through Manitoba PNP, which fast tracks PR. Specialists in surgery are a targeted occupation, and applicants may need Manitoba work experience, an employment letter, and a valid work permit to qualify. In Nova Scotia, the College of Physicians and Surgeons of Nova Scotia requires a job offer and an endorsement from Nova Scotia Health or the IWK Health Center before you can apply for the PRA. The assessment includes a 12-week observation period. On the immigration side, Nova Scotia is one of the most physician-friendly provinces, offering direct PNP streams for doctors. Both the Express Entry aligned labor market priorities for physician streams and the non-Express Entry physician stream target NOC 31101, which is for surgeons. With a valid job offer from Nova Scotia Health or IWK, you can move directly towards permanent residency without needing an LMIA. In New Brunswick and Newfoundland and Labrador, specialists can begin under provisional licenses with supervision, often tied to health authority sponsorships such as Horizon Health in New Brunswick. Competition is generally lower in larger provinces, making these good entry points, and the return of service agreements usually last 2 to 3 years here. On the immigration side, both provinces use the Atlantic Immigration Program to fast track PR for doctors with job offers, and NOC 31101 is recognized as an eligible high demand occupation. New Brunswick also nominates surgeons through its PNP, provided you have a valid job offer and meet requirements for education, experience, and language proficiency. In Prince Edward Island, there's no province run PRA program for specialists, so most surgeons rely on the Royal College route. If you train in an RCPSC approved country, you may qualify for a streamlined license without exams. Otherwise, you'll need to pass the RCPSC exams after your eligibility is confirmed. On the immigration side, the PEI PNP supports surgeons with offers from Health PEI. With that job offer, the province can nominate you for PR quickly, often faster than in larger provinces with higher competition. In Saskatchewan, most specialists follow the Royal College route, but provisional licenses are available with a job offer from Saskatchewan Health Authority. Almost all positions include a return of service agreement, usually in underserved communities. Immigration is linked to this process through the Saskatchewan Immigrant Nominee Program. The Health Talent Pathway stream targets in-demand health occupations, including NOC 311, which is specialist in surgery, and allows candidates with a job offer and provisional license to apply for PR, sometimes aligned with express entry. In Canada's territories, rules for specialists are stricter and no PRA-style programs exist. You must already hold a full unrestricted Canadian license, usually through RCPSC certification in another province. In Yukon, the provisional licenses aren't issued and immigration flows through the Yukon PNP with a validated job offer. In the Northwest Territories, you need the RCPSC certification and the LMCC, plus a job offer from the Territorial Health Authority. Immigration is handled via the NWT PNP skilled worker stream. Nunavut is the most restrictive. You must have a license of the Medical Council of Canada, RCPSC fellowship, and a full licensure from another province or territory, as no provisional license or conditional licenses are issued. There's a common misconception I want to clear up right away. No PGWP eligible program will directly make you a licensed surgeon in Canada. That's because residency isn't a study program, it's a job. The PGWP is for students completing academic programs at a DLI. Residency, by contrast, is a paid, supervised, hands-on training regulated by the Royal College of Physicians and Surgeons of Canada, and it requires a specific work permit. For international medical graduates aiming for surgery, the main entry point is through CARMS, the Canadian Resident Matching Service. Almost all residency positions are reserved for Canadian citizens or permanent residents. The few exceptions are sponsored trainee programs in provinces like Alberta, Ontario, and Nova Scotia, where your home country pays your salary and training costs. These programs are tied to work permits with strict return of service obligations. So what can international students do? PGWP eligible options include a master's or PhD in surgery related field or a clinical or physician assistant diploma. While these won't make you a surgeon, they provide Canadian education, networking opportunities, and pathways to PR, which is often required to compete for a surgical residency. Now, let's talk about contingency plans because not everything goes smoothly. Residency programs in Canada are extremely selective, especially in surgical specialties. For example, cardiac surgery applicants need hands-on clinical or research experience in that area. For IMGs, CARMS residency spots are almost non-existent, sometimes only one or two nationwide in hyper-competitive fields like neurosurgery or cardiac surgery, so CARMS should never be your main plan. Instead, focus on recognition routes such as RCPSC exams, provisional licenses, or provincial PRA programs. If those options don't work out, bridging programs provide alternative pathways. For Canadian citizens, PR holders, or internationally trained surgeons, bridging programs can lead to roles in research, health administration, or other Tier 1 or 3 occupations. Realistic pivots include positions like medical affairs specialist or surgical equipment sales representative. Programs at Toronto Metropolitan University also offer training in health research, data analytics, and applied health sciences, while some provinces fund smaller mentorship and employment initiatives for internationally trained professionals. Finally, let's look at the graduate study strategy. one of the most reliable options for IMGs still abroad. By enrolling in a master's or PhD at a DLI, you become eligible for a PGWP after graduation. Tuition varies from 19,000 to 28,000 per year in Manitoba to over 40,000 per year in Ontario or BC, but these programs provide Canadian education, research experience, and pathways to PR. Most major universities offer research-based PGWP eligible programs. In Ontario, you can pursue MSc or PhD degrees in surgical sciences, experimental surgery, or medical science at the University of Toronto, Western McMaster, or Ottawa. UBC in British Columbia offers programs in experimental medicine or surgery. Alberta universities provide MSc PhD options in surgery or medical sciences. Manitoba and Saskatchewan have programs in surgery, biomedical engineering, or clinical sciences. And in Atlantic Canada, Dalhousie and Memorial University offer masters and PhDs in health informatics, medical education, or applied health sciences. Now let's talk about something equally important, the document checklist. For national licensing, you'll need your core academic and professional documents, CV, medical degree, specialty certificate, internship records, and letter of competence under the CanMeds framework. These must be submitted through the physiciansapply.ca website along with notarized course descriptions from medical school and residency. For provincial licensure, additional documents include certificates of professional conduct from every employer, police checks, reference letters, and proof of language proficiency. Police certificates are also required from every country you've lived in for 6 months or more since the age of 18. For immigration, some documents overlap but requirements differ. You'll need an educational credentials assessment aligned with your highest degree, language test results, and provincial nomination programs, a valid signed job offer approved by the province. The journey to becoming a surgeon in Canada is tough, but with the right strategy, you can absolutely crush it. If you want more details, I've put together a free downloadable guide. You'll find the link in the description below. And if you need one-on-one support with your visa or immigration application, use the link in the description to get in touch. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.